This Explore the Pocono Mountains 225 Betting Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Circa Sports. Circa Sports is back with their Circa Survivor and Circa Millions contest. $14 million up for grabs. Get all the details now at circasports.com.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you asked me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Been on the other side of the question asking process, I would not ask Kurt Busch stupid questions. I know the sinking feeling that it comes when you ask a question to a coach, to a player, to anybody, and you get the blank stare while they collect how much they want to yell at you for what you just asked. So just keep that in mind next time you have pit road access. It is, of course, the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. Cody, that's good advice for when you go to your IndyCar race this weekend.
Yes, I'll try and keep the stupid questions to a minimum. Can you imagine being like a Patriots beat reporter and having to ask questions of any type to Bill Belichick? Because you get that same look, whether it's a good question or not, every single time you ask him a question. I mean, it would be great. I'd love to cover the Patriots, but that would be dealing with Belichick would be very entertaining.
Oh, for real. But I remember when Bochy was coaching the Giants, and Bochy was a lot standoffish too when it came to the press. And if you ask, especially after a loss, he was not a happy camper. And I sat in my fair share of press conferences where people were trying to dig the tough questions out of him, and Boch just wasn't having it. And, I was uncomfortable. I didn't even ask him the question. I was sitting there going, I don't know if I want to be in this room.
Hey, when you're as good as those guys are at their jobs, you can be however you want to be.
This is true. Well, of course, we know that Kyle Busch can be exactly that standoffish. This is the one race he's not in this week. Of course, we are talking Xfinity. We are talking the Explore the Pocono Mountains 225 from the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. I already know that a couple of my buddies, Seth and Elliot, are going to be out there enjoying the weekend of racing in Pocono. Cody's going to be on location in Iowa doing the IndyCar thing. But yeah, I'm telling you right now, after this is 5 of the 7 parts, the 6 of the 7. I don't know how many we got going on.
6. This will be 5 because 6 and 7 technically are the IndyCar races, which as of the recording of this, we still don't have odds. So we're waiting on that. But I'm hoping that they'll give us some stuff to parlay to both races. And, guy will get a top 5 in both races or win both races. Hopefully that's why it's taking them so long. They're getting creative. That's I'm going to have the glass half full on why it's taking so long to get IndyCar odds for Iowa, especially when there's a race on Saturday. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, I was going to say, good for you for glass half fulling it. I don't know. My glass has started to diminish ever so further anymore as I get older. I'm crotchety now, dude.
Last week, we had odds on Tuesday, and it was okay, now we're talking a full slate of things, and then, now we're still waiting. So I don't know what the deal is, but
still nothing.
It's okay. Yeah, I've been looking about every 5 minutes, Rod. So unfortunately, it is what it is. But we do have 41 entries for 38 spots here in the Xfinity Series race at Pocono. Ty Dillon racing for his grandfather, Richard Childress. He's going to be in the number 3 car. Chase Elliott is going to be in the number 17 car for Hendrick Motorsports. The number 10 car for Colleague will be Daniel Suarez. Connor Mosack is going to be in the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Corey Heim, my guy, is going to be in the number 24 car for Sam Hunt Racing. And the only other really notable, the number 91 is Chastain. That is Chad Chastain, not Ross Chastain. Definitely don't bet on Chad. Here's your weekly Chad Chastain is racing disclaimer because he's horrible.
I was going to say the Chastain brothers pulling triple duty, but yeah, definitely don't go after that 91 car. That is certainly not worth it at all.
You generally don't bet that with Ross in it.
Nope.
Definitely not betting it with Chad in it.
No. And look, if there was a head-to-head with him on the other end of it, I would take whatever end was on the other end of that.
I would take Rod Villagomez versus Chad Chastain because you'd probably cash.
I don't know. Am I on foot? Because
it doesn't really matter how you get there.
True, as long as I'm one lap up on him. But yeah, I do find that interesting that there are a smattering of Cup regulars in this, and the Chase Elliott one is actually quite surprising that he's in it. I didn't really expect that 17 car to make another appearance, especially with Elliott. But I guess, Cody, desperate times call for desperate measures to have Elliott running this race, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember if this was a planned one or not. I know there was one, I think he was planned to be in earlier this season where he was out injured at the time, and so he missed it. But they needed to do something to spark something. So, I mean, you put him in this type of race, maybe he can get a win and help him out, right? Help his momentum going forward in the Cup Series. They've got to figure something out because we got 6 races left. He didn't gain any points last week at, where were they even at last week? New Hampshire. He went in 60 points out, left 60 points out. Things are looking a little slim. Now, he's the type of guy who could do it, right? Watkins Glen's coming up. That's going to be very important for him. And, you know, if he can win a couple of stages, he could eat into it quickly. But the way they've been running lately, not looking so good. So he did technically win the Cup Series race here last year. Of course, he finished third in that race. The disqualifications gave him the win. But maybe they're just trying to get some momentum, some mojo going, right? Get him. Maybe he's not been so comfortable in the car since coming back from the injury. Who knows? But they need to spark something. Maybe this is going to be that race that they can spark something. His odds coming into this race, he is, of course, the favorite, much like Kyle Busch, as we discussed yesterday on the Truck Series race. And his odds are
plus 220 on Caesars, plus 225 on Superbook.
Trying to get to. Yep. So plus 220, and then it's John Hunter's odds are shifting here quickly. He's next up, plus 325 now over on Caesars, which is much shorter than they originally dropped at. But yeah, so it'll be we'll see. Are you on Chase Elliott at all today, Rod?
No, I am not. So we're all
same thing with Kyle Busch, where and I love Chase Elliott guy.
Your shirt says so.
I'm literally wearing a Chase Elliott shirt. Not betting on him for this race. I mean, again, wouldn't be surprised if he wins. Of course, you know the drill. But I'm not going to be betting on him to win this for sure.
Yeah, me either. But one thing I am excited about, that's not Chase Elliott, is Circa Sports. Circa Millions, Circa Survivor, they're back. $14 million in guaranteed prizes up for grabs. If you want to play Circa Millions, get 5 NFL picks against the spread every single week. Circa Survivor works just like any other Survivor game out there. You pick a different money line winner each week and hope you advance on to the finals. Best part about this, you can enter in Las Vegas and play anywhere you want to play. And if you're in Vegas in the last week of August, you get the added bonus of meeting Sean and Ryan from the Sports Gambling Podcast Mothership Show. They're going to be there holding it down for the SGPN, and you can have some fun with them and Circa Sports. You want more details? It's easy. Go to circasports.com. Circasports.com. Yeah, definitely not on Chase Elliott for this race. And it's not because I don't think he can do it, like you said. It's just the odds are not exciting. And honestly, Cody, I said this about the trucks yesterday. I don't know that I was all that super excited about the odds for this race either. Like, I found ones that I like, but I found myself saying ick a lot more than I found myself, especially the top 5 and the top 3 markets. The odds aren't what I expected them to be for all the Cup drivers being in this race. They did not pump up the odds of the rest of the field as much as I would hope they would.
Yeah, they definitely didn't pump it up as much as the Truck Series as we saw, but again, the Truck Series, that was the one that I'm really excited for. I found a billion things I loved over there. This one was pretty easy too, though. I mean, again, the Cup Series is where I really struggled this week. Xfinity for me was a lot easier. I found some bets I really like. I found one bet that I literally put a puke emoji next to in the document because I hate it, but I have to take it because I'm supposed to give out winners on the show, despite my feelings toward people. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I really kind of like a lot of things out here. Again, much like the Truck Series, I'm pretty optimistic about what I was able to find. I will say the Truck Series was the easiest, and I love. If you have not listened to the Truck Series episode, we did it backwards. They were a little slow getting Xfinity odds out, so Truck Series episode came out yesterday on Wednesday. We got Xfinity here for you today on Thursday. But go back and look at that because I'm really excited about what we found in the Truck Series, but pretty excited about what we've got here in the Cup Series as well.
I was excited.
Xfinity
Series, whatever. It's all the same anymore.
Same difference.
I mean, listen, we've got cars running around trucks. That's the extent of our weekends from here until November. But yes, we are definitely. I was excited about one of them for sure. That will parlay over to the Cup Series one as well. So we're definitely happy about that. Like we said, it is the Explore the Pocono Mountains 225. It is the Pocono Raceway. It is a 2.5 mile paved track. This race will be 90 laps around this in regulation. These guys have been coming here for a while, and last year it was Noah Gragson bringing it home in fine style. He led 43 laps of the 90, so pretty much a dominant day for him. 5 cautions, 18 laps. His margin of victory over Ty Gibbs. This was one of those classic Ty Gibbs, Noah Gragson battles from last year. It was 0.281 seconds, 9 lead changes in this entire race, 1,022 green flag passes. Again, last year was a classic. It was Gragson, it was Gibbs, it was Barry at the end. But yeah, it's of those three, only one remains in this race. So that just goes to show you how trucks, Xfinity, just changes from year to year.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of difference. So again, you can look back at a previous track history here, but much like the Truck Series, I'm going to be leaning a lot more into what have you done for me lately? How's your season going? I think that those things matter more in these lower series where it's constant changing of drivers and teams and where people are and which ringers are down and all that stuff. I think it's a lot more based on what have you done for me lately for me. So that's what I looked at more so than previous Pocono races, much like we did in the Truck Series yesterday.
And look, this week we are going to be talking about, or this episode rather, we will be talking about some very young drivers. And I will say to you that of the drivers that we were placing bets on in the Truck Series, they were older. You know, they were a lot of them were the older drivers in the Truck Series. You're right.
Jake Garcia, Corey Haim. I got some Carson Hocevar. I got some young guys.
Corey Haim's not 17, is he?
He's like 18, I think, isn't he?
Corey Haim? No, he's not one of those.
Corey Haim's pretty young.
He's young, but he's not.
We're gonna. All right. What's the over under, Rod?
20.
Oh, I'm definitely taking the under.
20 and a half.
Pretty good over under. Just this month he turned 21. So
hell yeah, dude. I need a handicap.
Yeah, that's still young though. Come on.
Yeah, but it's not like young. It's not the fresh out of high school. It's not. I went to prom and I put my helmet on for Daytona the next day. That's not
Haim is in this race, by the way. Unfortunately, it's not with. I wish they'd put him in the 19 car for some Gibbs races. God, I want to see that so bad. But he is in the 26 car for SHR, which would be Sam Hunt Racing. I really wanted to find a way to bet on him, so I was looking at his top 5, but it's plus 375. If you want to place that, I could see a case for him to get there, but man, I couldn't find anything I really liked on him. I was kind of sad because you know how I love my Corey Haim. You know how much I love to bet on him. I'm heavily invested in the Truck Series. I might have to see if there's some type of parlay that it would allow me to do.
Well,
I
unfortunately, we
want
don't
to
get
work
top
on that.
tens for either one of these series.
We don't, but we could work the top 5 into the parlay. Well, so I'll work on that while you do your ad read, Rod, and then maybe as we get into the bets, I can have a parlay cooked up here.
All right. Well, we'll give you that opportunity right now, as a matter of fact, and we'll talk about Underdog Fantasy. Boss has never said we couldn't do these ad reads early, so we're going to do it early because we want you to hear about Underdog Fantasy that much sooner. Underdog Fantasy is back, and their Best Ball Mania 4 is underway. They're giving away $15 million in prizes. Plus, as we've learned, and as we know now, Underdog Pick'em, a great way to not only get down on your favorite MLB and NFL season player props, but you can play NASCAR Pick'em too. We're going to have some of those for you again this week. I think that was a resounding smash. So a lot of folks love that one. We actually hit 5 of 6 of the actual picks that we had. So I'd say we did pretty damn good on that one as well. So we'll bring it back this week so you guys can win some money on Underdog with the many, many ways that they've got to play over there. Plus, it's also probably available in your state. So go ahead and take a look in the App Store for yourself, or head over to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code SGPN. You get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. All right. Well, Cody, I think it's a good time to start getting ready for bets. We hyped ourselves up, and I think it's the natural crescendo to start leading into our bets. So other than Corey Heim right now, what have you got for us to start this out?
I have built a Corey Heim parlay. Stay tuned. You'll get it in a little bit.
Yes.
Classic teaser for you. I'm going to start going back to, I'm going back to my guys this week, Rod. I did it in the Cup Series. A lot of the same guys I was on last week. I did it in the Truck Series. A lot of guys I've been on the last couple of weeks. I'm doing it in the Xfinity Series. These guys are winning us money. Why would they stop this week? It's going to be a good week. John Hunter Nemechek is the fastest car out there, the best car out there, one of the best drivers in the field. I know Chase Elliott is out there, but can get a top 3 plus 100 over on Caesars. Oh, man, plus money for a top 3. And really in this field, you're adding Chase Elliott. Okay, I get that. Daniel Suarez, maybe a case could be made. Maybe a case will be made here in a bit, but most likely not going to be in the top 3, right? A little bit of a longer shot. He's like 14-1. Austin Dillon, or Ty Dillon, rather. It's even worse that it's not Austin. It's Ty. It's Ty Dillon. Sorry, I love Ty. I met Ty Dillon once. Great guy.
Have a beer with him.
I think he'll do okay. I would love to have a beer with him. Probably not going to win this race or finish in the top 3. So really, you're just adding Chase Elliott to the mix. We're used to ringers coming into this Xfinity Series. John Hunter Nemechek has 4 top 2 finishes in a row, Rod. That's the top 2. That's not even the top 3. That's 4 races in a row finishing in the top 2. 8 times this season in 18 races, he's finished inside the top 2. John Hunter Nemechek is in the mix every week. It's going to be Chase Elliott. It's going to be John Hunter Nemechek. It's going to be Justin Allgaier. Those are the 3 best cars in this field. Those are the Justin Allgaier and John Hunter Nemechek. Week in and week out are the 2 best drivers, the 2 best regulars. They are always up front unless he has a mechanical issue, gets in a wreck, suffers some crazy penalty. John Hunter Nemechek will be up front. He's going to be one of the fastest cars in this race. A top 3 at plus money. Sounds like easy money, plus 100. I'm going to take this on John Hunter.
Yeah, you're right. And it really has always been a battle this season, especially between Justin and John Hunter. So I'm with you on that one. And I do, again, plus money. These top 3 odds, I really wish they would have been a little better because most tracks, plus 100 is not, I don't know. I feel
it's crazy because so we bet this last week, right? We didn't want to go with his outright. Excuse me. We took this at minus 130, obliterated the field in wins, and now he's plus 100. Chase Elliott was added to the equation. Okay. Why is he still plus? How did he get downgraded? And I don't know. But again, another example of why having these Cup guys in the field increases everybody else's odds and just makes them so much better. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't need to make sense. I'm going to take it for the top 3 at plus 100.
I concur. I'm going to move to my first one, and I like Austin Hill as a top 5 car at plus 170. Feel like this is a better bet than it probably should be. Like I said, especially because I was a little disillusioned with the top 3 and top 5 markets. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me being silly or whatever. But for Austin Hill, 3 of the last 4 races that he's run have been top 5 finishes. Go back 5 of the last 7. Even before that, shoot, you got to go back to Dover. Dover, 4th place. Darlington, 4th place. Charlotte, 4th place. Portland, 5th place. Like Sonoma, 8th place. Okay. Nashville, 4th. Chicago, 5th. Atlanta, 12th. Super Speedway, but he was up there, right? He was running around in the front by the end of that race. And then Loudon last week, 3rd place. So Austin Hill continuing to put together solid top 5 finishes. In fact, he's got 10 of them in 18 starts this season, 14 top 10 finishes. And that doesn't even tell the story because of the top 10 finishes, really only a couple of them have been anywhere close to not being inside the top 10. 9th place at Richmond. You can probably count the 7th at Phoenix as that. 8th place at Sonoma, like I said, but 12th place in Atlanta. That's still right around the front of the pack for the most part. On this track, he has taken 2 Xfinity starts, a 25th in the 61 car, but again, we talked about the equipment not being the same. Last year in the 21 car, he finished in 8th, started in 8th, finished in 8th, led 4 laps around the way. But in that race, of course, happened to be Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger, Sheldon Creed. All those guys, were in the top 5 even. And so you take out Gragson, you take out Gibbs, you take out Allmendinger, bump him up 3 spots. That's a top 5 finish. So again, I said this in the Truck Series, Rod, that's not how it works. It doesn't work that well, but yes, it kind of does, because if those guys weren't in the race, like they're not going to be this year, I think Hill can find his way into the top 5, even with Elliott, Suarez, Chastain, all those guys. I feel like he can still find his way inside the top 5 because he's done it most of the time this season, 10 out of 18. I think it's a pretty safe bet. Plus, he's got better odds for a top 5 finish than most. And at plus 170, I like that. I'll take it, especially since it's not just plus, 100 or whatever.
Yeah, this is an auto bet every week, right? Like, we continue to give this out. We continue to hit it. They have adjusted a little bit, brought the price down a little. It's still plus 170, though. That's still pretty good. I would definitely take that. Okay, Rod.
Do you want me to get the beep button ready for you so you can?
If you could, or if you, I don't know if you want to make this bet for me. I don't know if I can make it, but
oh, you can. Here, I got your back. Ready? Let me know when you're ready.
Well, let's see. First of all, we're gonna go to Group B over on Caesars, and this group consists of Brandon Jones, of Riley Herbst, Parker Kligerman, and of Ty Dillon, and of number 11. AKA the beep. So I looked at this group, right? And I thought to myself, this group has a lot of guys in it that don't necessarily get good solid finishes most weeks, right? You've got Riley Herbst, who cannot catch a single break ever, period. The JDK made the comment last week in the Discord during the race. Wow, Herbst actually made it through that accident. And then like 5 laps later, he did not make it through the next accident. So that was very sad. What is going on Caesars? Where did all the... Oh, there it is. I was trying to... Wow. It's just... the app went crazy on me, Rod. But so then you've got Brandon Jones. Is he racing this year? Heard he was going to be in the 9 car. Haven't seen him. I don't know.
And we were excited about him being in the 9 car too.
God, I was so excited.
Yeah.
I was so pumped. I loved this so freaking much, but it's not worked out. So, and he's the favorite to win this group, which is insane. Parker Kligerman, it's been well documented, right? He just can't catch a break. Most of the time, it's just his equipment. Can't catch a break. Ty Dillon is the longest shot, plus 420. I was thinking to myself, Austin Hill has been fast all year. Sheldon Creed's been fast all year. Maybe I'm going to take Ty Dillon. And then the more I looked, that number 11 car is sitting there at plus 320, rather. He's right in the middle of the pack, the 3rd favorite here. And he's just been finishing better than all these guys. And I don't want to do it. I hate this guy. He's killed so many bets for me, but this is the right bet to make. You know I like a bet like this if I'm putting it in here and I'm giving it out on the show. As much as I don't like this guy, I won't even say his name. I call him by the car number. But I mean, he finished 4th last week. 4 of the last 5 races, he's finished inside the top 8, 10 top 10 finishes this season. He's not going to go up there, lead you a bunch of laps or win a race. We all know that at this point, but he's consistently battling up front and consistently getting good finishes. I hate to admit it, but he is. So Rod, give me.
Okay.
Oh, jeez, you missed your cue.
There you go.
Let's try it again. Rod, give me to win Group B. He drives the number 11 car at plus 320.
I hope you lose this bet. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to get off and go take a shower now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably should. And to everybody out there that tails Cody, yeah, again, it pains him to have to do it. But listen, again, you know, we know when it's time to get back on drivers. And as much as it hurts sometimes, you can't ignore numbers and you can't shy away because it's not a winning strategy to play with your heart. Well, not a lot of the times.
Not most of the time. And again, this is how you know we're here to give you good information. Like, I want to avoid betting on this guy if I can. And the numbers are there. The stats back it up. The other guys in this group can't finish things. I don't have high expectations for Ty Dillon. And he's been getting good, solid finishes. He's making it to the end. And to win this group, that might be all you need to do. So, yeah, you gotta go with them.
I agree. And I like the bet, by the way, just so you guys know, because I was on him last week and he almost cashed a 12-1 in the top 3. So almost. But another top 3 market I'm interested in, and that's Justin Allgaier. Just made the case for John Hunter Nemechek at plus 100. Well, Justin Allgaier is plus 100 as well. And no surprise because, like we said, those guys have been battling it out all season long. Justin Allgaier, though, not necessarily. I mean, he's got 9. Half of the time he's finished inside the top 5, which is impressive as all get out, right? 12 top 10s in 18 starts. His average finish is 10th place. He is coming off a 6th place finish last week at New Hampshire, but very much could have been much better. He was a 27. He led 27 laps in that. I feel like he should have won really ultimately, but he did finish 6th, strategy, whatever. It happened. Started 4th in that, but 3rd in Chicago, 7th at Sonoma, 2nd at Portland. He won Charlotte, 2nd at Darlington, 3rd at Dover. Another top 5 finish for him in Austin, 2nd place at Vegas, 3rd place at Fontana, 3rd place at Daytona. We talked about him all season long. It's been Justin Allgaier's world. Most people are just living in it. Unfortunately, it's only 1 win on the season to back it up. It seems weird that he's only got 1 win on the season, but here we are. The 7 cars only crossed the finish line once in 1st place. But again, a top 3 car more times than most drivers, right? I mean, he's got half of his finishes inside the top 5, and most of those are in the either 2nd or 3rd position. So I like that. On this track, he does have 2 top 5 finishes, 2 top 3 finishes even, a 2nd place in 2017 and a 3rd place in 2021. Last year started on the pole, finished 7th, just outside the top 5, but still probably could have had a better day. But then again, we outlined who was in that race last year. So there's a lot of heavy hitters at the top of that was when Noah and Ty were in their prime battling it out. And he was still there, just not necessarily running the most fantastic of laps. But a top 3 finish is achievable for Justin Allgaier. We'll go ahead and load up plus money on this one and really just even money on it. But still, even money bet for something that's bound to happen. You said it, Justin Allgaier, John Hunter Nemechek, 2 of the top in the field. They're going to be there again. I think they'll both be in the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the argument when I made John Hunter. I said there's 3 guys stand above everyone else in this race. It's Chase Elliott, it's John Hunter Nemechek, it's Justin Allgaier. So if those are going to be the 3 best cars, if they're going to finish chalky and all be up front, or at least 2 of them are, these are 2 guys to bet on for those odds for sure. So I like it. Next up for me, Cole Custer over Josh Berry, minus 135 on Caesars. Rod, we placed this bet last week. If the race was 1 lap shorter, we would have cashed this bet. Unfortunately, Sheldon Creed decided to not only fuck up his own race, but Cole Custer's in the process. and it did not cash. But one lap shy. He was on his way to his fourth, Cole Custer, that is, was on his way to his fourth straight top 10 finish. Would have been his 12th, oh boy. Would have been his, I don't even know what I wrote there, but fourth straight his fourth straight top 10 finish. Boy,
you know what's great about it?
Sometimes like reading my own writing, I'm just like, what was I even writing here? I have no idea. Okay.
You know what? No, we've reached that point in the week where, in school, when you're taking notes and the teacher's and you're your own teacher and you're just writing stuff down. Next thing you know, you've got like dragons and flowers and all. You're like, how the hell did that get there?
My writing is that of like a 4-year-old child, so that doesn't help. But I do realize now what I wrote. He was on his way to his fourth straight top 5 finish in a row, and it would have been his 12th top 10 finish in a row. So yeah, he has been on top of it. He's got 8 top 5 finishes this season. And other than last week, where he ends up finishing 22nd last week, but he was running top 5 until the last lap, that wreck at the end, right? He hasn't finished worse than 9th since Coda in March. Cole Custer has been consistent. He's been getting good finishes. He's had a couple of wins lately that were like, okay, didn't dominate the day, but he found himself in position to win. Again, that's what you're looking for, a guy that's going to put himself in position, be there at the end, have a nice solid finish. Cole Custer is delivering that each and every week at this point. Josh Berry, the last 4 races, 15th is his best finish. That's all I'm going to tell you about Josh Berry, because nothing else matters right now. Things are just not going well for Berry. Even last week, you saw a flash for a minute. Hey, there's Josh Berry. Oops, there he's gone. That was it. He was there for a second, then he was gone, just like he's been every other week. They're struggling big time right now in that 8 camp, and things just don't seem to be getting better. Cole Custer, you can rely on him to get you a good, solid finish. He's been just churning out good, strong finishes. Things have been going rough for Berry here as of late. So, again, following those trends, I'm going to take the guy whose trends are going up and fade the guy whose trends are going down until I see otherwise. And that's Cole Custer over Josh Berry, even at -135 over on Caesars.
I mean, has Custer had the season that we wanted him to have? No, but it's starting to shape up to be a respectable season nonetheless. I think he's finding his groove again. And
he's only 8 wins away from my prediction.
Yeah, you've got a long way to go on that one. Has he won his way into the playoffs yet? I
think he is actually officially locked in.
I think he is too. But yeah, I agree with you on this one too. And it's rough because, again, it's just a matter of that Junior Motorsports stable has been. We thought Berry was avoiding stuff early, and then it turns out no, it's Justin Allgaier now that's not in it. I don't know. It's a mess. But yeah, I agree with you. Custer over Berry for sure. It's frustrating, but it's true. My next head-to-head is, or my head-to-head, my first head-to-head is, I'm going to take Daniel Suarez over Austin Hill. Now, I know I said Austin Hill was going to be a top 5 car, and Suarez is -110 on this side of it. But follow me on this one, okay? Suarez is in that 10 All-Star Kaulig car, right? And we've seen that Kaulig car win 3 times. Okay, twice it was AJ Allmendinger. Twice it was, not once was a road course. So I get that. But Kyle Larson did win in Darlington. Definitely not a road course. Led 46 laps. Justin Haley had a 4th place finish a couple of weeks ago in Atlanta. They started out the season pretty strong. Haley 10th place at Daytona. Austin Dillon even 8th place in Fontana. Kyle Busch 4th in Vegas. And then another Kyle Busch 9th place finish. So 2nd place in Sonoma for AJ. This 10 car has been good. And really what it is for me too is that Daniel Suarez has actually not been bad in his 2 Xfinity races in Pocono. And he was driving the 19 of Joe Gibbs and then the 18 of Joe Gibbs. So listen, I know Joe Gibbs equipment is superior to Kaulig in a lot of ways, but we've also seen that the driver makes a difference too in these Kaulig 10 cars. And Suarez is a pretty damn good driver in and of his own right. And I think he can do he's got a 9th place finish and a 5th place finish in 2016 and 2017. So this will be his first Xfinity start here in a while. And then as far as his Cup Series, he had a good year last year. He finished in the top 3 in this race in 2022 on Pocono Raceway. So again, I'm going to make a stronger case for Daniel Suarez in a little bit. And maybe that was even my case, but I still think that even if Austin Hill finishes inside the top 5, maybe even Suarez gets into 4th place. We already got the top 3 on lock, but Suarez could find a 4th place finish like Haley did in Atlanta. It's a far flung, but I'll still take the chance on this one.
Can't say I'm going to back you on that one, Rod.
Hey, but you
Austin
played Hamburg,
Hill.
so what do you got?
Wow, you're just going to throw that in my face, aren't you?
I have to.
All right. You do. You do. Until it cashes, and I'm going to throw it right back in your face. So there is that. I would not take Daniel Suarez over Austin Hill, but hey, best of luck to you. I hope you cash that, and Hill hits our other bets we have on him. Next up for me, I'm going to stick on the Cole Custer train. Back to the top 5 well, or this time to the top 5 well. I guess it's been the top 3 well before. Plus 120 for a top 5 for Cole Custer over on Caesars. It's plus money. I just talked about in my jumbled up mess of stats how good he's been doing here lately. Let me just go back and read you his finishes. New Hampshire, top 5 on the last lap. Obviously, he ends up finishing 22nd. Atlanta 3rd, Chicago Street Course 1st, Charlotte 3rd, Nashville 9th, Sonoma 6th, Portland 1st, Darlington 3rd, Dover 7th, Talladega 4th, Martinsville 3rd, Richmond 5th. You got to go all the way back to Coda, March 25th for a 32nd place finish. It has been very, very good for Cole Custer here lately. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 6 top 5 finishes in the last 8 races. Should be 7 of 8. Again, if that last lap incident doesn't happen last week. Custer's been running good. Top 5 at plus money for Custer. Again, the only one I'm concerned about taking a quote-unquote normal top 5 spot is Chase Elliott. I don't think it's going to be Suarez. I don't think it's going to be Dillon. So give me Cole Custer, top 5 plus 120 over on Caesars.
I love it. Again, we're filling out this top 5 pretty well, aren't we? We got this thing dialed in for sure. All right. Well, so my head-to-head, my next one is a battle of the Sammies, or the Sam, as it were. I had the Smiths last week, and I was all over. I couldn't figure it out. This one's a little easier, okay? I've got Sammy Smith over Sam Mayer at minus 125. Battle of the teenagers is really what this ends up being. And, Cody, I'm kind of stealing from you as the what have you done for me lately type of a thing. For Sam Mayer, literally a yo-yo for him over the last few weeks, right? He goes from 35th at Charlotte to 3rd at Portland to 10th at Sonoma to 3rd at Nashville to 18th at Chicago to 5th at Atlanta to 18th in New Hampshire. We talked about the struggles of JRM all the way around, and it's just Sam Mayer is a guy that will be running around for you in the front. He'll be doing things that make you go, oh, cool, Sam Mayer's on this week, and then it'll be off. And then the next week, you'll be like, okay, I'm off of Sam Mayer, and then he finishes well. So good luck on that one. You try to figure that one out for you. But for Sammy Smith, on the other hand, we already know that he's got to win this season, right? He's got 9 top 10s, 4 top 5s, and 3 of his last races have been top 10 finishes, right? A 6th at Chicago, 10th in Atlanta, 5th at Loudon. Crashed out of Nashville. That was a tough one. He finished 34th, but he did start 3rd. He had some speed in that. And then 9th at Sonoma. So I believe Sammy Smith is a much better driver at this point than Sam Mayer is, just overall. And unfortunately on this track last year, he started 5th and ended up crashing out of this race, finishing 31st. He only got 53 laps in on it. So like I said, not necessarily the best of showing on that, but he was in the top 10 in stage 1 before he had to bow out of the race. So he was 7th place in that. Again, I just think that he's got the better opportunity at this point to get there. And he's been running better lately consistently than Sam Mayer. And you can count on Sammy Smith to not necessarily get in too much trouble around this track. So take Sammy Smith over Sam Mayer minus 125.
Yeah, I like this matchup. You know how much I love Sammy Smith. Sometimes a little hard to rely on him, get decent finishes for you, but he's going to have a faster car. It's just a matter of what he does with it. But I do like the Sammy Smith side of things on that one. Next up for me, going to take a page out of your book, Rod. I'm going to go with the winning car number over 16.5. This is at minus 130. I thought that this was a very odd placement on where they placed this number. I would have thought that they would have put it at 17.5 rather than 16.5, because 16.5. So obviously under it gives you Cole Custer, right? It gives you Mayer, it gives you Creed, Ty Dillon's in there. Justin Allgaier, of course, a big threat. Josh Berry can win. Jones, Suarez, number 11, Chandler Smith, all guys that could find their way to victory, right? But when you go over this number, Rod, this gives you Chase Elliott, who's the favorite. It gives you Sammy Smith, who's very fast. It gives you Connor Mozak, who's in a Gibbs car. It's long shot, it could happen. It gives you John Hunter Nemechek, who's going to win this race. It gives you Austin Hill, who puts himself in position to win every single week. It gives you Corey Heim. This is a way to bet on Corey Heim right here, Rod. You scroll down through the list, right? And yeah, Parker Kligerman, that's kind of a long shot. Riley Herbst is in there, but I mean, the main point of this, right? You get Elliott, you get Sammy Smith, you get John Hunter, you get Austin Hill. Like, that is the meat of the number sandwich that I want. And it's only minus 130. So give me the winning car number over 16.5, minus 130 on Caesars.
You have learned well, young man. You have graduated to the number school. And I like it. Again, I really do, especially because at minus 130, that's not a hefty price to pay for a lot of, insurance as far as all those guys that could win. So I like it. I would have taken it if I would have gotten to the dock first.
Yeah, and really the only person who super scares me under that number is Justin Allgaier. Like, there's some other guys I mentioned that can win for sure, but I mean, of the favorites, like, it's Allgaier is the one that scares me. I'd rather have Elliott and Nemechek and Smith and Hill. Like, you're just getting so much better options on the over.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like I said, I'm right there with you on it as well. All right. One that I'm prepping for a little bit of chaos. This is just me kind of what if, right? Again, I'm watching the Marvel what ifs. And so I'm allowing myself to allow for alternate universes. Oh, I just
bless you. Wow. That was a big sneeze.
Oh, yeah. You could see it on YouTube.
I could see it. Can't hear it. That was great. Great job hitting the mute there. But yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, it is like ridiculous in California right now, and there's allergens all over. But so anyways, this is me prepping for a little bit of chaos. We do definitely think that John Hunter Nemechek is probably going to be the class of the field, but his odds as top Toyota are in the minus 200 market. I am not about to go there for the top Toyota. Will he finish as the top Toyota? Probably. But Sammy Smith plus 425 as the top Toyota. Now, I will tell you this, right? Last week in New Hampshire, it was John Hunter Nemechek as the top Toyota. Sammy Smith was the next best Toyota. The week before that in Atlanta, John Hunter Nemechek, top Toyota, fantastic. Ty Gibbs was right behind him. Ty Gibbs not in this race. Behind both of those, oh yeah, that was Sammy Smith right there at that race. Last couple of races, he's been lurking around as the top Toyota. Of course, John Hunter Nemechek is continuing to be the guy. Just like in Chicago, John Hunter Nemechek, top Toyota, Sammy Smith right behind him. And then in Nashville, it was the top Toyota as John Hunter Nemechek, but the one right behind him was actually Kaz Gralla that day. But you get the picture. More often than not, it's been Sammy Smith lurking right there in the wings as the top Toyota. If something happens, heaven forbid, to John Hunter Nemechek, I believe Sammy Smith will be that next Toyota in line. And 4.25 to 1 for that to happen. Okay, I'll take that just in case, right? Just in case something happens to John Hunter Nemechek. A 4 to 1, over 4 to 1 is great odds for that to happen, especially since he's the next one in line.
I love this bet, Rod. I'm going to take it one step farther and say you also take Connor Mozak 12 to 1 to be top Toyota. So that gives you, there's only 5 Toyotas, much like in the Cup Series, not a big Toyota field. Only gives you 5 Toyotas. John Hunter Nemechek is minus 280 to be the top Toyota. We know he's going to be the fastest car in the field. We know he's the best driver in the field. Likely he's going to win this, and you're not going to cash these bets. But there is that offside chance that something can happen. Sammy Smith has been just as fast as John Hunter. He just doesn't have the experience yet to beat him every week, but he has beat him once already this season. As far as winning, Sammy Smith has got that win. But if something happens to John Hunter, if there's a pit penalty, if he gets caught up in a wreck, if he has a mechanical failure, you've got Sammy Smith is easily going to be the next best Toyota in this at plus 425. Then you take the guy in the ringer Joe Gibbs car in Mozak at 12-1. He's likely going to be having a decent day because those cars are so good. Even Joe Graff made me eat my words and have a decent run last. Now he Joe Graffed it at the end of the race, but had a decent run going. If he can find speed, then our children could race that car just fine and hang out with the rest of these people. So I think you do play Sammy Smith plus 425 because I'm almost viewing that as like a Sammy Smith versus John Hunter Nemechek head-to-head almost at plus 425. If you want to look at it that way, that's great. You take a little tiny piece of insurance with Mosak, 12-1 because he could be there as well. Then all you have left is Kaz Gralla, unlikely. Corey Heim, but it's still a Sam Hunt Racing car, and those cars are just so much slower than the Gibbs cars. So I think that, again, I do see John Hunter obviously probably going to be the best of this, but it's a great insurance play to sprinkle on both of those guys, I think. So I'm going to add Mozak as top Toyota as official 12-1 play as well. But I love your Sammy Smith plus 425 to be the top Toyota.
Yeah, it's just a way for you to, like we said, prep for chaos, because anything can and will happen in these races. We've seen it already this season. Even in races that we thought were going to be tame, we saw it. So, give me Sammy Smith, top Toyota. All right, we got winners picks coming up. Hang tight. We're going to introduce you to one of our favorite shows on the network.
Hey, everybody. If you play fantasy football, especially in auction leagues,
or you're a whiskey fan.
Yes, exactly. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast Fantasy Football Channel show, Old Fashioned Football.
Coming to you every Tuesday morning, give us a listen. We'll bring you the latest fantasy football data, including
The injury report,
studs and duds,
waiver wire targets,
and suggested fab.
market movers. After all, we are the Marks.
He is my hubby.
And she's J Mark's wifey.
And we're bringing all this to you while drinking an old fashioned and giving you our honest review of a different whiskey every week.
All that and more. Hop on over, give us a listen, come for the football, stay for the whiskey.
This ad's almost done.
Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Somebody has to win this race, this Explore the Pocono Mountains 225. We're back to those extended length titles of the races. I love it. I'm glad because I was getting tired of And Better Health 400. That's too short.
Yeah.
200.
It's making it too easy on us. So good to get back to the long titles. Before we get to the winners, Rod, I promised a Corey Heim
You did.
Corey Heim parlay. Here it is. Over on Caesar Sportsbook. Corey Heim to win the truck race on Saturday, then to get in the Xfinity Series car, finish in the top 5. If he can accomplish both of those, plus 45 or 41.75 rather.
Ooh.
That's a nice solid payday for you, Rod. If you throw $10 on there, it'll pay out $427 for you. So that's my parlay of the week. Corey Heim, you know how much I love this guy. He's been a dominant force in the Truck Series. If you listen to the Truck Series episode, you know I expect him to win that. A little bit of a long shot to get a top 5 here. I get it. I didn't just want to take his top 5 odds outright, but I think he could put himself in position. Maybe it ends up being a chaotic race. Maybe it ends up being a strategy race. We know he's talented enough to do it. Maybe, just maybe, he wills his way up into a nice solid finish, cashes that bet for you. So give me Corey Heim to win the truck race and to finish top 5 in the Xfinity race, plus 41.75. There's your big parlay for the week. Hit it last week, so let's try and do it again this week.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, well then fine. Let's get into the winners section of this.
Let's get into the winners. You know it, Rod. Another gift from the sports books. John Hunter Nemechek goes out and dominates last week. He was plus 260. One driver enters this race, and it knocks his odds all the way down to plus 500. I love Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott can win this race. I think it's a likely outcome, but John Hunter Nemechek is the best Xfinity Series driver in the best Xfinity Series car, in the fastest car out there. He can win this race. He can beat Chase Elliott head-to-head. If something goes wrong with Chase Elliott, he can obviously beat him that way as well. But I love John Hunter Nemechek. 5-1 for the most dominant car in the entire series with the best driver in the entire series at 5-1. is a bargain in the Xfinity Series. Give me John Hernimacek plus 500 over on Superbook. And then Rod, I've been taking these guys as long shots. I'm going to continue to take them as long shots if you give them to me. They're long shots for a reason. I'm absolutely ready for heartbreak again. I'm absolutely ready for them both to wreck again. But they're too valuable for the cars that they're in, for the drivers that they are at this price. Sammy Smith, 25-1. You made a case a few minutes ago. He is one of the fastest cars week in and week out. He was yet again one of the fastest cars last week, had put himself in a tough position, having to go to the back multiple times, couldn't get up there quite at the end, still ended up with a pretty decent finish, but he can compete any week for the win. He's already got that win earlier. I think it was Phoenix earlier this season. We know he can win 25-1 when I just got done saying his teammate has the best car in the entire field. He's also got a very, very, very good car, and he's a very good driver as well. The youth and experience is there. That makes him the longer shot, but at 25-1, if he finishes second or he finishes last, it doesn't matter. You want him to finish first. So go for it all and win, or wreck and don't finish. It doesn't matter when you're placing this type of bet. Love Sammy Smith 25-1. And Sheldon Creed, baby. I'm fully ready for the heartbreak once again. Sheldon Creed 30-1. This guy cannot finish races. Had himself in a top 5, was going to cash that bet for us last week. Just could not handle the fact that he would finish a race. Decided to wreck into Cole Custer on the last lap. Doesn't matter. He's fast every freaking week. He's good. He's done it before in the Truck Series. We know he can do it, Rod. If you're going to keep giving it to me at 30-1, I'm going to keep taking him. It's going to hit sooner or later. Hopefully sooner. Sheldon Creed, 30-1.
Indeed. I hope he comes back to California and we can definitely have a beer together, because I would love to hear the horror stories that come out of Sheldon Creed. I was that close, Rod. I know, Sheldon. I know.
Can you imagine the beer drinking party that's going to happen when he finally wins a race?
Ooh.
Oh, man.
He'll be puking like Gregson, for sure. All right. Well, I like yours. Obviously, we talked about all of them, and maybe Sheldon Creed might be the one that you got to close your eyes and click that. Maybe throw a buck or two in there just for fun. But for me, I'm going to take Suarez at 14-1. Again, when you talk about all of the Cup Series guys that are in this race right now and that have odds for this race, and I understand a little bit why he's getting sort of tossed under the rug. Chase Elliott at plus 220. Daniel Suarez at 12-1 on Caesars right now. I had found him at 14-1, so his line must be moving. But yes, I got Daniel Suarez at 12-1 to win this race. He's in that 10 car, and they put a little something extra in that 10 car every time they have somebody different in there. And, you know, more often than not, yeah, it doesn't get him up into the winner's circle, but it has. And AJ Allmendinger took him there twice. And I just feel like, you know, he's of the same sort of, I don't know, he can win, and he's won, right? In the Cup Series, he's won all over, but it's just, I don't know what it is about Daniel Suarez at this price. I like this price for Daniel Suarez. I think it's a decent enough outcome that could happen. Like I said, the 10 car is not adverse to winning. So I like the 12 or the 10 car at 12-1. I like it better at 14-1, but I'll still take it at 12-1. I'll take a stab.
14-1 on Superbook. So it is still available 14-1.
Perfect.
I don't know.
I know. That's fine. You
can 14-1. You're getting a Cup Series guy, former Xfinity Series champion.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't count him out. But I don't know. I'm just not feeling it with Suarez. He's going to do a lot of racing this week. He's going to be an SRX on Thursday too. So maybe it's going to get him pumped up. Maybe he'll show up. Maybe something happens. There's a wreck at the front of the field. Takes out a couple of these guys. Then he can put himself in position. 14-1. I think it's worth the sprinkle. I don't know. I'm not finding myself on Suarez too much this week.
That's all right. I had to stop myself from talking about the same 15 people all the time. So I decided to make a case for Daniel Suarez.
There you go. I like it.
But again,
Justin Allgaier's winning this week, guys.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ, this guy. The one time I'm not on him 100%. That's fine. That'll happen. But yeah, like I said, Daniel Suarez, Cup guy, 14-1.
Hold on. Oh, okay. You did bet Allgaier. I was gonna say you got Allgaier top 3 in there. I was gonna say if you didn't have any JRM cars, I was going to be a little concerned about your health.
I was going to have to blink twice. All right, get out your pen and paper. We're going to go over the bets for this Explore the Pocono Mountains 225. Cody started you off with John Hunter Nemechek as a top 3 car at plus 100 on Caesars. I gave you Austin Hill as a top 5 car at plus 170, also on Caesars. Cody gave you the number 11 car, and he's just puking his guts out doing it as the winner of Group B on Caesars at plus 320 over Jones, Herbst, Kligerman, and Ty Dillon. I've given you Justin Allgaier as a top 3 car at plus 100. Cody gave you Cole Custer over Josh Berry at minus 135 over on Caesars as well. I gave you Daniel Suarez over Austin Hill minus 110. That is also on Caesars. Cody gave you Cole Custer as a top 5 car at plus 120 on Caesars. Plus, he gave you Mozak as a top Toyota 12-1 and Heim as a top Toyota also in there. There's a lot going on in the box right now. I gave you Sammy Smith over Sam Mayer at minus 125. Cody gave you the winning number car over 16.5 at minus 130. And then Corey Heim to win the trucks and top 5 in Xfinity at plus 4,175. I gave you Sammy Smith as the top Toyota at plus 425. And then, of course, Cody gave you John Hunter Nemechek at plus 500. Sammy Smith at 25-1. Sheldon Creed at 30-1. And I tossed in Daniel Suarez for fun at 14-1 in Pocono. That tricky triangle they will navigate. So a lot of fun, a lot of racing this weekend.
I'm pumped. I'm excited. Doubleheader on Saturday. It's the trucks and Xfinity. And of course, you got the IndyCar race over in Iowa as well, where I will be at. Going to be a fun time. I'm excited. Feeling confident. I'm really liking the trucks and Xfinity this week. Cup's good too, of course. But I'm really feeling like we got some pretty good lines here. Excited for some good races in these series.
I concur. So, all right. Well, then we will go ahead and say good night or good day or whatever. Good morning. I don't know when you listen to this, but we're going to say goodbye for now. But we will be back tomorrow with DFS with a little bit of Underdog sprinkled in as well. Special guests, too. You'll be surprised. We'll bring back Gindy, Mr. Gindiana Jones for you. And, yeah, he's definitely coming back, and we'll have some fun with him. And then I think that's the end of our week, right? That's it. And then, of course, IndyCar when that comes out.
Yep. IndyCar on the F1 Gambling Podcast as well. Whenever we get odds, we're still waiting on those. But, yeah, excited for John Ginder to join us. He's always in the DFS content every week, doing some work for sportsgamblingpodcast.com. I had him on the DFS show a couple weeks ago when Rod was out. So that was fun. We'll be talking DFS and those underdog picks. Going to be a good time. And then he's going to be live at the Pocono race, reporting for us from the ground there. So we'll talk about his past experiences, what he's expecting this weekend, and then I'd have to have him back on next week to talk about how his week went and how his trip was. So good time there. Follow me on Twitter, Rod, at Husker_Zeeb. Find all my work over there. Follow the show as well at NASCAR Gambling. Follow the F1 Gambling Podcast at F1 Gambling Pod. Lots and lots of content from Iowa, for IndyCar, from Pocono, from Gindy for the NASCAR races as well. So make sure you're following all those accounts to follow all that this weekend and join the conversation in the Discord as always.
Boots on the ground, man. Boots on the moon. We've got boots on the moon all over the place for this show. Love it. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it is in between media, the back road going to be on already, probably your favorite YouTube channel on In Between Media. Catch that. Seth Elliott going to be at Pocono as well. So we'll have fun breaking down that race. And of course, check out my work for frequency's sake. It is fast money. That'll be out. I'll have some parlay party fun on that as well. Plus, I got a YouTube video up now for Odds Shopper that's talking about women's soccer. Why the hell not? Let's have some fun out there. Full DGen status this week for sure. Catch it out there. All right. We'll see you tomorrow for DFS. Until next time, let's go racing and let it ride.